hey everyone, I'm here live with Veganika, and she's here with some family. So we are we are live, so you can go ahead and introduce yourself, Veganika, if you would, please.
Okay.
And you got
Hello,
some
guys.
family there with you too.
Yeah. We wanted to say hello to you as a family. So I'm Veganika. This is my son.
Hello, you all.
His name is Emmanuel, and actually he does a lot of. Oh my God!
What happened?
Oh my God! No, we must switch this off. Sorry for this inconvenience. Skype is trying to switch on.
Okay,
I will switch
no
it off.
problem.
We don't need Skype now.
We can still hear and see you just fine.
Okay, fine. All right. And this is Orlando, and he's a representative of our family. We have 8 rescued guinea pigs. Okay, wow. He's one of them, and this one was found in the forest. So yeah. So if we are going to talk about veganism, so I also want to say that I'm also advocate for direct rescuing. We have so many opportunities. Each of us have so many opportunities to rescue some animals. We don't need only to talk. We can also do something. We can save a number of lives.
Yes, absolutely. Veganika, you froze for a second. I'm not sure if you can still hear me. Is she frozen for anybody else? I heard her say number of lives, and then she froze. I'm still here.
Okay. I think we have problem with internet. I think.
You're back now. I can hear you.
We are back. Okay. If there is there are more problems, I will just go to another room. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
This is the. Okay, maybe here it will be better. I'm closer to router now. Okay, so he can go already, yes, and we will start the real conversation. Yes.
That was really great to meet your son. And was it Orlando?
Orlando, yeah.
That's great. Yeah. I've been to there's an Orlando in Florida here. Is he named after that, or is there a different Orlando?
No, not at all. I just, we've rescued since we went vegan. We have rescued 20 animals. So wow. We need many names, and I love names ending with O. So we have many names like Emilio, Orlando, Flavio. Who else?
Giovanni.
No, Giovanni. Okay, but Giovanni is not with O. Raffaello. Many such names we have.
Amadeus.
Yeah, Amadeo. Yeah.
That's great.
No, nothing to do with your Orlando.
Terry in the comments is saying,
please,
Orlando
let's start
Bloom.
the real conversation.
Great. So thanks again for joining me here. And I'd wanted to ask you, I guess, if you could start off by kind of sharing what inspired you to go vegan in the first place, because I know, we're people all around the world who are connecting on this issue of being vegan, and it's really interesting to hear different people's stories about it. Some people just witness animals going to slaughter on a truck, and then they become vegan, or some people's kids ask them, hey, why are we eating this animal, but we have a dog or something? So what is it in your case that has brought you to
okay. So first of all, I would like to say that rather, instead of asking why somebody went vegan, maybe we should ask why somebody started eating meat at the first place. Because I have loved animals since I remember, since early childhood. And actually, when I was a little girl, kindergarten age, maybe 5 or so, I went to a village where my grandmother lived, and I heard slaughtering of pig in the village. I heard it.
That's
so
terrible.
It was such a trauma to me. And what is important, what I would like to share, and I'm sharing with my audience, me as a girl who felt absolutely stressed with this experience. I only heard the voice, but I'm sensitive to sound.
That still sounds horrifying, even just to hear that.
It sounds, yes, and because in this sound, you can hear the emotional state of the pig.
Yeah.
So I was sharing the emotion of that slaughtered pig. Of course, it took maybe even more time, because I guess this was in the village, like in the brutal village, slaughter conditions. So I guess some men first were trying to immobilize this pig. So he or she was fighting terribly. So it was screaming for the whole village. Yes. So, and I was participating in his or her agony till the last moment. So I was in it. This was such a shock. And what I understood that moment, people very often think about, it's just, then they just go to slaughterhouse, it's fast. Even when they talk about, for example, gas chamber, they think, okay, maybe this is extreme, but, it lasts 2 minutes or 1 minute. People think, okay, this is fast. So I must say that when somebody is in stress, for example, when I was sharing this experience with that pig, I had the impression that it is like an everlasting agony. For somebody in stress, it takes ages. So I thought, my God, it will never end. It will never end. As a kid, I was sharing this experience, and I really had impression that it took ages. And until so many decades, I cannot forget this experience. So this is, and since the childhood, I was very strongly against slaughtering animals. I didn't want to eat meat. So since childhood, I was forced by my parents to eat meat. Since childhood, I didn't like meat. I didn't want, and I was against. The other thing is that I didn't see maybe this like a direct consequential connection among, if I don't eat meat, I will save animals. Because this is what I was doubtful until the moment when I went vegan. My parents told me that you are not going to change the world. This is the world. This is the way it is. You will never change it. And also I was indoctrinated since childhood that human needs meat. So, when people are taught since childhood that you need meat to survive, this is something so difficult to change, because what we have been learned since childhood is like the strongest belief. Yes. So this is difficult. So although I was against, I already knew that we can find protein elsewhere, but this indoctrination since early age is so difficult to change. And so I was indoctrinated by my parents that I must eat meat. Although for most of my life, I rather seldom ate meat because I never liked meat. So I rather used to eat a lot of dairy, cheese, those kind of things. And so this is the question. This should be the question. Why? And then I must say that when I didn't have animals, because this is the big difference when somebody has animals or doesn't. So after I gave birth to my son, and he's slightly autistic, so there were a lot of problems with his development. He needed a lot of support, therapy, many problems. He also suffered a lot from bullying, and so I was engaged with him growing up. So in that time, I didn't think about animals. I didn't think because I had different problems. So I think we also, when in our advocacy, this is what I think from this experience, we always must keep in mind that it is not only about arguments, if somebody is against, or it is about somebody's priorities. Because I think many people, and this is what I experienced, that many people basically agree with us. They say, yes, you are right. Yeah, you are right. We don't need meat. Maybe we really should avoid it. But the problem is of their priorities. So like they agree, but at the same time, it is not important for them. So they have they agree, but next day they don't think about it. So animals. Okay, as a child, I had animals, and I loved them deeply, totally. And yes, I was a great animal lover. But then, in adulthood, I was focused on my son, who had different set of problems. And again, animals became important for me. Actually, this is I can thank him, because he always insisted, oh, I also want to have animal. You had animals. You are so happy with your animals, because I was telling him stories, and he knows all details about. I had my first animal was a guinea pig, unfortunately single, because we had no knowledge. There was no internet. So I loved her totally as a little girl. Then I have two dogs. I had two dogs, and also till now they are my love. So I will never forget my past animals. So I was telling him stories, and he always, I also want, when shall we have a dog? Or, and I would say, oh, later, when we have better conditions, living conditions, or I was always saying later. Now we cannot afford. And until the moment I said, okay, maybe we cannot have a dog, but how about guinea pigs? So I proposed him, okay, let's have guinea pigs. And this was first thing. Okay, he was so happy. Okay, so we started to search on the internet. So we adopted two guinea pigs. And this is funny. When I started searching information about guinea pigs, information like feeding, like all kind of information, health and so on, I found this American channel, Scottish Animals. I don't know. Do you know this channel or not?
Scottish animals?
Scottish Animals. Scottish Animals.
Oh, I haven't. No.
Okay, there is such a channel. This is a channel about guinea pigs. And he showed so much love, so much passion about his guinea pigs. He also told the stories that guinea pigs are the victims of our selfishness. Zabierz go, nie żartuj. And that many people buy guinea pig as a toy, usually for the child. Usually people buy guinea pig for a child as a toy. And after summertime, after a period of time, a child is not interested in this toy anymore, so they dump guinea pigs.
That's so sad.
He told these dramatic stories, and at that time he had 7 guinea pigs, and he was telling those stories. So I became interested in it, and I realized that the same situation we have in Poland, that so many people, they buy guinea pig for a child. After some time of the child is not interested, so they search where to get rid. And in fact, many people find guinea pigs in parks, even in the garbage, the space. Yes, like the people find. So this guy Orlando, he was found in the forest. And I adopted him from the organization who rescues guinea pigs, and then they are searching for homes, and they found many dozens of guinea pigs, like little ones in that forest. So they come from a breeder who is breeding new guinea pigs for sale, and as many as he will sell, he will sell, and the rest he throws to the forest. So
wow.
Yeah, I also have guinea pigs after vivisection from laboratory.
Wow.
So also. So this was my first experience. So I got interested in guinea pigs, and I was horrified with what is happening to them. And there was a very interesting moment. This was also on a Scottish channel. This was shock for me, and this was the moment when I rethought my attitude to animals. And he was taking next guinea pigs. He's also volunteer in Los Angeles guinea pigs rescue. So there was a moment he moved to the desert. he lived in Los Angeles and he moved out to desert. He rented or bought, I don't know, a house there. He moved with his huge herd. But there were many wild animals who were coming to his house. So he was feeding them all. And there was such a scene when he met a rat, like wild rat, next to his house. And his reaction, like for me, this was like eye-opening, because he saw a rat, wild rat. Normally, people react to wild rats in a very negative way. Yeah? Everybody wants to kill them. People hate rats. Yes.
Yeah, it's sad.
And me too. I also hated rats. I found rats in past disgusting and horrifying, stinking, or whatever. And his reaction, he saw this rat and he was, oh, be careful. He was so afraid that because this rat was afraid of him, so he was escaping. So he was worried that during escaping he will harm himself, that he will, oh, no, maybe this is not good for you, this is not safe place, go. So he showed so much care about this wild rat. And this was for me, oh my God. I thought about myself, what a shitty person am I? That how possible that I love guinea pigs, but rat, maybe I wouldn't kill. No, I wouldn't kill, but I like a rat. But both are rodents. Yes, both belong to same family. Like, how can I treat in different way the rat than a guinea pig? So then I started to think, no. Then I realized that something is wrong with me. That I treat guinea pig differently than a wild rat. So since then, I became also a great advocate of rats. I also rescued 4 rats from snake breeder.
Wow.
Feeder rats. So when I learned about this is, oh my God, this is absolutely heartbreaking that people are breeding like new lives, new sentient lives, only in purpose to give them as a feed for their pet, their snakes. This is, and especially when they are giving those rats or mice alive. And and people are enjoying the show.
Yeah,
they are enjoying watching like the snake is attacking those deadly scared rats or mice, and people enjoying. I saw, oh my God, there are millions of views for such videos.
Yeah.
Jesus, I realized how sadistic people are. We didn't change much as a mankind since ancient times, when people were enjoying seeing the fight among a human and a lion. We didn't change much. People used to enjoy lynch. Yes, people love to watch when somebody was hung. Yes. Yes, I think everywhere. People used to enjoy lynch. So now lynch of humans is illegal. Yeah, we don't do public executions, yes? But people didn't change. People are the same. So they don't use humans for their entertainment. But for example, they will use rats. And so this was my evolution, that I got back to being sensitive about animals again. Obviously, my guinea pigs themselves changed my attitude a lot. They taught me a lot. But this is a long story. I don't want to make our conversation too long, because I might talk about my guinea pigs, what they taught me, for hours, what I discovered. People underestimate animals a lot. I think, are they self-conscious or not? But I can tell so many stories. Not only I could say too many stories, so maybe I will. my God! Again, some there are some problems with the internet.
It's
I'm
just
trying to
buffering a
change. I
little
will
bit.
try to
It's
move more.
Yeah, it's not too
What?
bad. It's just it's buffering a little bit. Like when you talk, sometimes every few seconds it kind of pauses for a little bit,
Yes,
um,
really? Oh
but
my God,
it's
that's
not too
terrible.
bad. It's not too bad.
Okay, okay. So tell me if it's too bad. I will just move to maybe to kitchen to elsewhere.
Okay.
I don't know if opening the door would help. I don't know. For maybe it's not for Wi-Fi. I don't know if it means anything. Wi-Fi. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not
Uh,
sure about that. Um,
yeah. Okay. So just tell me if it's too bad.
okay, will
Okay.
do.
Okay, so this I
So
will not continue. Maybe on my channel I will tell stories about my guinea pigs, what they taught me, because they taught me a lot. They are my masters. Uh, I think animals can teach us a lot about how to live. And but next thing. So still, what I was missing. Of course, I was against animals exploitation, and I was so disappointed with mankind at that point. I was obviously against farming animals, so this was also something what was breaking my heart. Absolutely, I could never forget that experience from early childhood. So this sound will stay with me forever. But what was missing? Um, I still felt that I am helpless. I cannot change the world. Maybe I can rescue a couple of animals, like a few guinea pigs, a few rats, maybe dogs in future, but I cannot change the world. So I started changing my diet. I started avoiding meat, avoiding dairy. So my first step was I was avoiding, but not like completely. I didn't cut completely, but I started avoiding. So then I was eating those products like really rarely, occasionally. So this was the first thing, but I miss this belief that I can change anything. So you asked me about my inspirations to starting my channel. Yes. So
before you get into that, actually, if I could just, I had some
yeah.
questions just about
Yes.
the story you had shared. So, with the guinea pigs that you find in the forest, are they all coming from breeders and people kind of dumping them off, or do they in Poland? Do they also just kind of live like naturally? Do they live wild?
No, they cannot live here naturally. The climate is too cold.
Okay.
No, they wouldn't survive. So if they dump, for example, to the forest, they wouldn't survive a night.
Wow.
So actually, no, of course, adopted from the organization who rescued them. So not indirectly, directly through the organization. But no. So I don't know which way. Maybe somebody contacted them. Maybe the reader discreetly also informed, hey, there are guinea pigs there. Maybe. I don't know how they learn, but I also hear from private people. For example, whenever I go with my guinea pigs to vet, and people see me, always people stop me, talk to me. Everybody loves to see animals. So many people tell me stories that, oh, I found guinea pigs. Once I found guinea pigs, the garbage. I found the rabbit here at the bus stop. So people are telling me
Wow.
stories. So many people are finding animals, like those animals who never should be there. Yes, like rabbits, they find guinea pigs.
I see. Yeah, that's I think we lost Veganika for a second again. Let's see. She had said that if she was having, oh, we lost you again there.
Again, we have problem. I opened the door.
Yeah.
I don't know if this will help. We will see
Okay.
now. If this doesn't help, then I will move to just elsewhere.
Okay. Yeah, that might be what we have to
Uh-huh.
do. But anyway, I was also going to say what you said about the rat that you had expressed compassion, or you had seen somebody expressing compassion toward. I think that that's actually something that we don't always think about as a really powerful way to get people to think about other animals. We oftentimes focus on, cows, pigs, turkeys, chickens, and fishes. When we do our advocacy, we focus on the animals that are called the food animals. But I think, for example, people always ask vegans, what's wrong with honey? Because you're not killing the bee and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But the story that you told me about the rat makes me think about how when we tell somebody about why we don't support the use of honey by humans, it might actually help them understand, like, wow, I'm eating pigs and cows and all those other animals, but what about a bee? And try to connect to the fact that vegans are showing consideration for the work that these bees have done, and we don't want to steal from them. So I think there's a lot of opportunity there just to set a good example also. And if, for example, if somebody's at work and in their office there's a spider and somebody says, someone come kill the spider, if the vegan stands up and says, no, don't, I'll put him or her outside, I think, that sets an example that not only, you guys are all going to be eating animals for lunch, and I'm going to be eating my plant-based food, but I'm also going to save the spider from you too directly. So I think there's a lot of power there in seeing somebody doing the right thing. That can be really inspiring. And per your example, it was inspiring for you. So that's a really powerful story.
I had more inspirations, and I think all of them can be inspiring also for others. But I'm afraid that if I start telling my story in details, it will take too much time, and we will have maybe not enough time for other topics. So I want to just make the story short, and maybe the rest I will talk. I will describe. I will tell you stories on my channel if you follow my channel, so I can tell the stories, because other moments are also inspiring. Deeply inspiring. If they inspired me, maybe they can inspire also others. So to make it short. So what the point I was missing, I didn't see any chance that if I go vegan, like fully vegan, this will change a lot. So this was breaking my heart. So I felt that what can I do? What will this change if I just go vegan? So this is just me. So because saving animals is not just about me. The whole mankind should go vegan, not just me. Me, myself, I am very, very small fracture of the whole market. So actually, to be honest, I don't understand passive vegans. I don't understand, because if someone feels this care, if someone cares, if someone disagrees, opposes what's happening, so how possible that someone just only changed his diet, their diet? Yes, it doesn't help much. This is just okay. This is essential step, important step, because this is something that is in our control. My diet. I am not able. I have no power to control diet of my neighbor. So this is something we have control over. So I think we should do like everything what is possible for us, that we have control. So diet is the first step. We also each of us can rescue some animals, like even those small rodents. It's not any huge problem. And but also we should be active on the social media, actively also supporting those who are on social media and doing job. And I don't understand I don't understand passive vegan. So I was active even before I went fully vegan. So I started with maybe guinea pigs advocacy, like this, sharing the information which I learned from American channels. I started sharing and different. Okay. what was I would say, what was the moment when I understood, oh my God, I must go fully vegan. I think this was Joey Carbstrong, who said that when you buy meat, you are ordering the next animal to be slaughtered.
Yes. Yeah.
So you are directly responsible for next animal to be slaughtered, because many people, including me, are thinking this way. The meat is here, so either I eat it or I don't. It doesn't change anything. It doesn't change anything. There was maybe the connection was again broken. So either I eat or not.
Yeah, we are
won't change
losing the
anything.
connection.
Yes, many people this way. Yes.
The connection's kind of it's every maybe 20 seconds it's going out for maybe about 5 seconds.
Oh my God! So maybe I will go to the kitchen. Maybe I will go to the kitchen. Okay,
it's a little bit difficult.
Okay, that's awful. Yeah, this shouldn't be this way. So I will just go elsewhere. Oskar, idź, bo Myszka powie Bogdanowi, że ja tam muszę być w kuchni, bo tu przerywa co chwilę połączenie. Żeby on mi tam nie przeszkadzał w kuchni. Przeszkadzaj. Just a second, yes? I must move. Tylko...
Sure, no problem.
Dobra. Just a moment. Nie przeszkadzaj. Nie mam pieniędzy.
I wish I understood Polish. It sounds like a beautiful.
Yes, that doesn't matter. I'm trying to manage. Dobra, to ja tutaj. Will you give me a moment, okay?
Yeah.
Just a moment.
So if anybody has any questions in the meantime for Veganika, feel free to put them into the chat and then I'll pull them up. I see that Lewis is here and Terry, Martin, and Vegan Gym Girl. So glad to see you guys all here. It seems like maybe the connection's already better, so that's good.
It should be better.
Yeah, it seems smoother. Yeah, Lewis says veganism doesn't save any animals already killed. I think that's kind of what you were talking about too, that it's not just a matter of taking them out of your diet or not exploiting them yourself, but making sure that we can stop or slow down, hopefully eventually end the demand so that more animals aren't killed with, future purchases.
There must be light. Okay, so this was for me this important moment when I realized that myself, I'm killing the next animal, not this one which is already dead, but the next. So this was the moment when I said, no. Even if it is just one animal, I will not do this. Because, we very often focus on numbers. There are so many animals, like billions of animals killed. So, if you hear such numbers, there are so many animals, so many chickens, so many pigs killed for human consumption. So then a single person, individual think like, okay, so what is my share in this? Like 0.000, this is my. So if we think about the numbers, then we think it doesn't matter. Me going vegan doesn't make a change. But if we think of a single life, that single life is precious, equals everything. So I have such a video on my channel about the value of animals' life. What is the value of animals' life? So my answer is it's infinite. One single animal is same valuable as the whole universe. It's the value is infinite. So then I thought, oh my God, I'm not going to pay for a single animal to be murdered. Yeah, we must learn that a single life matters. Yeah, so this was my inspiration, like the last step. And what else is, I think, important? It was important to me. I think we need a little hope. We need some hope, because, if I was taught since childhood that this is the life, this is the way the life is, this is the way it is. People say the world sucks. Yes, so yeah, reality sucks. So this is what we believe. So if we think we cannot change anything, there is no hope, so people don't tend to make changes. But if we have some hope, I think hope is necessary. So I think this is my this is my opinion. I think that those aggressive vegan activists, are doing a great job, because they behave in a dominant manner, and when we feel it, when we sense this, suddenly we may start feeling strong. I think such activists like Joey Carbstrong, vegan gangs, and others of this type gave me some hope that maybe we can have some impact. Maybe we can do something. Yeah, I think. I think showing some aggression, some dominance can be good, because people, like, for example, like me, can start believing that there is hope. Maybe we can have some power, because this is the game of power. This is, the game of market. On the market is the game of power.
Yeah, I think in many ways, even just being vegan shows that you have hope, because so many people aren't willing to take a stand. They're not willing to stand up for something that they believe in. And they say, well, I'll just eat a little bit of animal every now and then. Like, you run into a lot of people who say, I'm mostly vegetarian. I just eat a little bit of meat. And it's also important for us to remember that, like, the food is the big part of it, but we can't look away from all of the things happening to animals for animal testing, for like the leather and fur and all those other products. Even these words that we use, like leather, for example, it's a code word. We don't say cow skin or pig skin.
Yes, exactly.
So we
same
trick ourselves.
with meat.
Yes,
meat. This is
yes.
not meat. It's somebody's muscles.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we do trick ourselves kind of with that. And I want to say about the pig slaughtering experience that you witnessed as a child. A few years ago, I was at a vigil, which I don't know if you guys have those in Poland for animals. Maybe there aren't enough activists, but with a vigil, a group of vegans goes to a slaughterhouse.
Yeah, I know what it is about. Yeah.
Okay, great. And it's very sad. And I heard pigs in gas chambers screaming, even though
You heard.
Yeah, even though they were inside of a building and they were far away, lots of walls in between, but
really?
I could
And
still
you
hear.
Still heard.
I still heard, yeah. And the scream was just something out of like a horror movie. It's the most frightening screams. They're just screaming like blood howling shrieks, kind of thing. It was
people usually
awful.
believe that okay, maybe this is extreme, but this is fast. This is fast experience. You know what? I would like to say about my labor. Is labor the correct word about giving birth? Giving birth is labor. Yes.
Yes.
Labor. I had very extremely hard labor. I was. What is the verb from labor? What is the
deliver?
Verb? Deliver. Okay, so I was delivering. It took to me 27 hours. 27 hours of incredible pain. But in last moment, so it was already taking too much time. Probably that's why my son is slightly autistic. He suffered some little brain damage during this whole process, and his heart stopped beating for a while. So in last moment, after those 27 hours, yes, his heart stopped beating. So
Wow.
the doctors immediately they took vacuum, and they took him out with vacuum. I think they even made a cut to me to him to like get out, get out fast because he was about to die.
Wow.
And I must tell you that this moment when they suddenly took him out from me with the power, this moment could last, I think, a small, maybe a fraction of a second. Yes, this one particular moment, maybe a second, maybe half a second, because they were trying to be fast to rescue his life.
Yeah.
So after 27 hours of incredible pain, there was a 1 second or a fraction of a second moment of extreme pain. And that moment was something what gave me depression. After this experience, I was scared of living. I was scared of life as a phenomenon in general. Like,
wow.
Because I thought before labor, I had thought that a sentient being can suffer until a certain degree. So, like, we can suffer, we can horribly suffer, but there is a point where it ends. That above this, we die. We just die, yes? Is this the belief that you hold till now? That, for example, I think this is common belief, that many people think, okay, the animal suffers, but it is fast. And they also think that, okay, even if it's a ritual, sadistic killing, like kosher or halal, there is some limit that a sentient being cannot suffer more than this. So although they hear that they cut the nerves, so nothing can be more painful than kosher and halal killing, because they exactly cut the most sensitive, like it's unimaginable pain. But they think, okay, they focus, this is fast. So I can say that the fast extreme pain, if I was to draw it, so I would say, okay, this 27 hours or somebody's agony, let's say somebody's suffering agony from cancer, so this is pain, and we think, okay, there is a moment, it finishes and somebody dies. No, it can be the amount of pain can skyrocket till, I don't know, universe. It's crazy how strong the extreme pain can be.
And I think at some point you just pass out, when your pain passes.
People think that you will pass out. No. The problem is that no. So look, in kosher, and I am so much against kosher and halal, slaughter, because when animal pass out, they say, okay, it doesn't count, we cannot use this, this is like garbage for them, they cannot use this meat because it passed out. So it is, for them, it is important that animal really suffered till the last moment, fully consciously, fully experiencing this pain. So I can say from my experience that extreme pain can be billion times more intense than we can imagine.
Veganika,
so we never use the argument that something lasts short, because experiencing time is subjective. It's fully subjective, because how you experience time, it depends on activity of your brains. So if you are in a horrible pain, your brain is much more active, so you experience time completely differently. So the moment which from the witness point of view, he will say, oh, it took just 1 minute, because he's not in stress. For him, for this person, took 1 minute. But from the person who experiences this, for his brain experience, it took ages. ages.
Yeah, I think
It is
there's
not the same the time experience.
yeah, there's something to be said for there's that saying time flies when you're having fun kind of a thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. There was even such research where when people feeling good, relaxed, having fun, and they were asking participants of the test how much time you think it passed. So they will say they will say 20 minutes, for example. It was 1 hour, but they will say 20 minutes, maybe half an hour. But when there is something stressful, how much time passed? So they will perceive 1 hour as, for example, 2 hours.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you, when you were talking about the kosher and halal slaughter and the animal passing out, that's not something that I've ever heard. Are you saying that if the animal passes out during the slaughter process, that
it is not kosher anymore? It's for them, it's dirty because animal didn't suffer enough.
Wow. Okay, I had never heard that
they
before.
they are glorifying the fact of experience of agony. That's why I'm so passionately fighting ritual slaughtering, because for them not meat itself is the main value, but the experience of agony is what matters, what makes the value.
I'm gonna have to look into that. I'm gonna make a little note for myself and look into that, because that I had never heard that before, and I definitely that's something that when I talk to people sometimes and they say I just eat only halal or only kosher.
This is horrible because okay, so for your information, they use the argument, this is fast. They use the argument that this is fast, but they forget the fact that they cut the nerves. So this is kind of the most extreme pain. Just I don't know how young you are, but do you remember, or have you ever experienced being at the dentist without anesthesia? Or maybe you are as young that since you were the first time they already use anesthesia. Have you ever?
Yeah, I'm 37, but I mean I've been in pain at the dentist before, but I think nothing
So
could compare
need
to that
try
feeling.
to treat your tooth without anesthesia, because we have nerves in our teeth. So this is like this is kind of this pain. So people must understand the level of pain when you even touch nerves. So when, for example, when nerves are like open and even the dentist like blow some air. So this is very acute reaction. Yes. So just
like if air goes over your nerve.
It's about cutting nerves. It's unimaginable pain. So if I think from this 1 second from my labor, which like broke me completely, I regretted that I was born at that moment, and for next month that, oh my God, such I was shocked that such degree of pain even exists. So this is what those animals, because when you cut nerves, it's the most horrifying pain as you can experience. So they use the argument that it is fast, which is not true, because there were scientists who were really examining this whole process, and they exposed their lies that it never takes one cut. Never. There are always multiple cuts. No, they are not able to do it with one cut. They made statistics how many cuts it takes on average. They are lying, and scientists, they made some declaration on this about this whole process, why it is so extreme, what is going on, what animal is experiencing. So first of all, this cutting nerves is something. This is the most extreme pain on earth. This is the most. So, but they describe the whole process. So there are documents from scientists, and in our country, professor of zoology professor of zoology is involved with the fight against kosher. So the professor describes, he says, as an expert, what happens to animal. He knows anatomy of animals so perfectly. So he tells them. But Rabbi, those, and he exposes this whole process because they make money. This is their source of money, because they make money or giving those licenses. They give. So many Polish are involved. Polish who have nothing to do with Judaism, but they are involved with a kosher slaughter because it's money. It's so we have a lot of this in Poland right now. It's all for export to Israel, and Polish Rabbi has a huge business. It's a great business because he's selling licenses for kosher slaughter. So they are making money on giving license, or somebody will come and say, "Oh, the God, blah 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 blah." He will say the prayer, and this is the money. Yes, this is their. We should talk about it. So it is so corrupted. I tell you, I was so disappointed that during this Karin's debunked debate, people were, in fact, they were defending kosher. Not that, okay, of course they are against slaughter in general, but they were again using this argument that if I am attacking especially kosher slaughter, then I am anti-Semite. They were repeating the same, because this is always the same conversation. So in Poland we have the situation. From one side we have a professor of zoology who describes the process, who describes the anatomy of animal and what animal is experiencing. He says it's the most extreme of what we can, the most extremely painful agony we can imagine. It's above our imagination. This is what he says. But the rabbi will say, "Oh, they are again fighting kosher. Again, there are anti-Semites in Poland. Again, we have anti-Semites." They always label this as anti-Semitic. But he exposes, okay, they will always protect, because it's a huge business for them. Because when they are selling this meat, so this is different price. So even the same cow slaughtered in stand and the same cow slaughtered in kosher slaughter, this meat, the value of this meat will be much higher, because there was a prayer. So this is a huge business for Rabbi and for this community.
It's
Although this is the same cow, those cows come from Polish farms.
Yeah, if I can say something.
But let me finish.
Sure.
The next lie is that they claim that, those animals had better life. This is bullshit, because those cows come from Polish farms. And those farms are exactly the same as other cows in Poland. They are importing, this kosher meat from Poland, or halal meat. They are importing from Poland, from Polish farms. And this is bullshit that they had better life. They had the same life. Okay, sorry. So
I think that the same thing can be said when you talk about the certifications, whether it's certifying something as kosher, certifying something as halal, or even certifying something as high welfare, that there's somebody who's giving out these certifications. In the US, we have the ASPCA, which is the American Society for Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. Just like in the UK, they would have the RSPCA. I'm not sure if there's kind of a certifying board or something like that in Poland when it comes to humane slaughter, but maybe the kosher things that you're describing are the closest thing you guys have there. But there's a big financial incentive for animal flesh to be certified as humane, because then of course people feel better about eating those animals, and the price is higher, so the incentive is also for the people selling that
Yes, yes,
flesh.
yes,
So
yes, yes, yes.
it's all of course marketing. This is just to
Yeah.
get people to feel better about eating it. I'm wondering do you know of like when you go to the store? I mean, I know obviously you don't go shopping in the meat aisle and things like that, but do you see things like just cage free and that kind of
We have
thing?
cage-free eggs, so we have categories of eggs. We have 4 categories of eggs. Yeah, 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 yeah. But yeah, it's only about eggs. If about meat, we have ordinary meat in supermarkets, but you can also buy eco meat, which is usually unavailable in supermarkets. You can buy this directly from a farmer. You can buy it on internet shop, or in the special. Yes, you can also buy it in special shops, so-called eco meat. So we don't have categories of meat of eggs. We have categories of eggs, no meat, but you can buy this better meat in special shops. Seldom, I think seldom you can find something like this in supermarket. But also what is popular in Poland, it's a wild meat. I think it's venison is the word, yes.
For deer.
Deer, not only deer, wild pigs, all kind those. How you say venison is the word?
Yeah, in the US, I've only heard that term used for deer. Usually,
Only
if
for deer.
wild pigs are called
How about
boars,
other wild animals?
yeah, like
Like
wild
which
pigs
like
are called.
the name, like the common name for this whole group of animals?
Um, people might say like
Maybe
wild
maybe they
game.
don't hunt so much in the US. Maybe you don't have so many forests in US. I don't know.
No, we there are. I mean, the US is huge, so there's
Yeah, but there are maybe many deserts. I don't know. This is what I think.
yeah, there's deserts, forests.
Uh-huh.
It's a big country, but um, when you said eco meat, it makes me think of organic meat here. By the way, Veganika, I'm hearing my voice kind of echoing a little bit.
Really, really,
Um,
you'd like me to? Okay, last time they suggested me to
Headphones would
put
be
on
really good.
earphones, but I
Yeah.
don't have some like a set. I don't have it as a set. I can get. Oskar, przyniesiesz mi ten, just a moment. Przyniesiesz mi słuchawki z pokoju, przynieś i to tak szybciutko, ale tak szybciej. Pospiesz się, tak? Sorry.
Yeah, it would be helpful too because
I will try if it works, because I will have like separately. I will have earphones and separately microphone. I hope it works together.
yeah, it should work as long as you have a jack to plug in each one. Because a lot of times also,
Mhm.
if we're kind of talking at the same time, it's hard to not get the noise to cancel out, because then
Mhm.
my
Right.
voice kind of comes through, and then I think you also have trouble hearing, and yeah, just headphones work a lot better.
Just okay. Can you say something? How I hear you?
Testing. Check.
Okay. Yes, yes, yes. Now you are louder. I hear you more. But you can hear
Yeah, I
me.
hear
Yes.
you louder too. Yeah, I hear you more clearly too.
Oh, okay. That's better. Okay. So let's continue this way.
Okay, great.
All right. So we have also this type of meat. It's very popular. It has opinion of the best meat because it's natural. It's from the forest, and we have many hunters, many problems with them. So vegans also fight with hunters. So this is not like that we fight only against farmers, but there are more groups also. Hunters is a big group and very strong group in Poland.
Wow.
Supported by government and supported by church. Can you imagine that there are special masses at the church, special masses for hunters? There are
I've
even
heard
religion. Yeah.
I've heard
Yeah.
about hunting back in the day that, in the original kind of early vegan movement, there was
Mm-hmm.
something called Hunt Sabs. Sab stands for like saboteur, like to sabotage, like to kind of try to
Mm-hmm.
stop a hunt that's
Mm-hmm.
taking place somewhere. nowadays I haven't heard of any activist groups going out to these things, but maybe in the 60s or 70s.
Nie wiem, co mam zrobić.
Nie przeszkadzaj, nie
Jeśli się
przeszkadzaj, nie przeszkadzaj.
Yeah, in the 60s or 70s, I think it used to be popular for activist groups to get together and try to interrupt hunters while they were hunting, which of course that's very dangerous because they're out
Yes,
hunting
yes.
with a gun.
Yeah.
But I don't know if
Yeah,
there's
for
anything
sure.
like that. Terry is saying, he's saying, I love the hunt sabs, many hunt sab groups in the UK. I don't know of any in the US. Do you know of any in Poland that actually go and try to stop the hunters?
Maybe not. Yeah, but maybe not necessarily during hunting itself. Maybe they try to stop them before, or they destroy their. I don't even know how to say this in English. They have some facilities for hunters, so they destroy their facilities, and of course, we have protests. We even vegan activists went to the church during this mass, and when the priest was blessing hunters, so there was a group of activists with a t-shirt like they cited the Bible, "Don't kill." So just wait a second, my son is
Sure, no problem.
misbehaving. Just wait a second.
It's all right. Terry says they still exist going out to stop the fox hunts. That's amazing. Let me go ahead and mute Veganika here for a sec. Okay. Until she gets back, I'll just mute her out of respect. But that's okay. I'll bring her back. That's awesome, though, Terry. Terry is saying.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Oh, that's okay. Terry's saying that he knows about fox hunts in. Oh wow! So he's saying they go out and stop the fox hunts, and that fox hunters who abuse the people who are trying to stop it. And Martin had said that a friend of his was beaten while trying to do it, and
yeah.
Terry says that too, some have been killed and beaten or
Yeah,
severely killed.
It's a serious problem because hunting is supported by government, and they try to label it as a Polish tradition. So they are trying to make it something holy, and this is terrible when something is labeled as tradition. So that's why it is very difficult to find traditional dishes, like, for example, traditional Christmas dishes. I think you also have the same problem with the US, for example, with tradition of eating turkey, yes?
Thanksgiving. Yeah.
I guess it's Thanksgiving and the turkey. It's very hard to find traditions. So also politicians corrupted by hunters lobby are trying to label hunting as Polish tradition, that this is our tradition. You know, we have many forests, so even even those British priests were coming to Poland for hunting. So this is it is positioned as kind of elite sport. So that's why it's very hard to fight with this. But we must do this.
When people have pride, I think, about something, like, in the US, we have the 4th of July coming up in a few days. That's the American Independence Day. And it's a huge barbecuing day. So people all go out and barbecue and grill dead animals. So in Poland, is there anything that you see along the lines? I'm really curious about kind of the activism status there. So I imagine there's probably not too many disruption type activism events, or are there, like, where people would go into a grocery store and protest against the sale of animals? Or
we have actually I would say that our activists maybe mainly they are mainly engage with disruption, protests,
Okay.
pressure campaigns, but unfortunately, there are too few of them. So we have like a handful of people like truly passionately involved, engaged, and then do this kind of things, maybe even mainly this kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there are too few. So for example, we have protests, we have those disruption, for example, protests, or and the protests also against kosher. There was a protest in front of synagogue, but unfortunately there are too few of us, so sometimes you can see just like 5 persons, 7, there are too few.
Do you
So
notice that it's getting more, like it's growing, or have you noticed that it's staying the same, or more people are joining, or more people are leaving kind of the activism?
well, um, is it growing? I think we have, maybe not only in Poland, I think everywhere. I think we have a huge problem with active vegans, because theoretically there are numbers of vegans. For example, on internet, on Facebook, if there is like vegan group, Facebook vegan group, Polish
Yeah.
vegans, so you see, okay, there are vegans in Poland, but somehow you don't see them on actions, on
They want
protests.
recipes, more food recipes.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Not only, they are also sometimes sabotaging the activity of active vegans.
Yeah.
Sometimes they are the first to criticize those.
Yeah.
They
You
say,
have to be strong.
"Oh,
Yeah.
you give. We are ashamed of you. We are ashamed of you." Sometimes they say, yes, that give the bad face or the bad name to veganism, so other vegans now are ashamed, are embarrassed, because so many vegans criticize actions, the
Yeah, it can
disruption
be
actions.
harder, with being involved in activism, kind of. Let me give you an example. Like, I've gone to vegan, plant-based kind of dine outs at restaurants or potlucks, where people bring food. And a lot of times the people who are there, they're not all activists. A lot of them, maybe some of them aren't even vegan or haven't even stopped eating animals or anything. And they'll be there talking, saying negative comments about activists. And it's sometimes funny because maybe they don't realize that I'm an activist, and that gives me a chance. I just think to myself, man, I wish somebody was recording this right now. I wish there was a camera recording me so I can do outreach with this person, because they're at a vegan potluck. They might say that they're vegan, but they're talking down on activists and saying, like, everybody should live and let live, which is the funniest thing.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
funny to say live and let live
Yeah,
when
yeah. When they don't let live,
yeah.
it's them who don't let live.
Lewis says, they're not dead animals, they're killed animals. I take issue with you replacing wrongly killed with dead. Yeah, I mean, they're dead, they're killed. I think it's probably better to use the word killed. I think my point is more in just not the process. I wasn't being process oriented, but just more feature oriented, if you will. When you're in the grocery store, I was saying, she looks for plants instead of the dead animals. But yeah, killed animals. Killed animals might be a better term to use. So we talked a little bit about your kind of inspiration of going vegan, and the different types of advocacy and different things that you see in Poland. I wanted to just kind of circle back a little bit, if we could, to your pre-vegan mentality. And do you think that, you had said that there were many different things that kind of inspired you that you didn't talk about. What I'm kind of curious about, because I've been thinking about this lately, is, does somebody have to kind of already be primed in a way? Like, priming is like if you're starting like a lawnmower, you pull the thing and you start the engine on the lawnmower, but before you do it, there's a little button that you have to, like a little pump that you sometimes press on the side, like you get the engine ready to start. So the engine can't start before it's primed. And the reason I ask is because I've spoken with people who have said that they've walked by, for example, a Cube of Truth or other kinds of video outreach events where they've seen the slaughter, but for some reason they just weren't ready to think about it yet, or it didn't just hit them the way that they would have thought it would have hit them. So they kind of said, "Oh, cool," and then kept going. And even in my case, like I had stopped eating animals for about 2 years before going vegan, and I knew that the milk I was drinking was stolen from cows. I knew that. If you asked me whose milk is this, I would have said it's cow's milk. But I didn't seem to have an issue with it. I thought I was doing enough, and until I saw the footage and I saw those cows, kind of all lined up together, and they're just there. They can't escape, and they're hooked up to machines. They're not willingly there. Their choice has been taken away from them. Then it clicked to me that, wow, like this is a kind of suffering and slavery, and this is not something that I want anything to do with. I want to remove myself, stop participating in this. I just wonder if there's something that someone has to process in their mind first. You do occasionally hear about people going vegan overnight, like they watch Dominion and they become vegan all of a sudden. But I think our minds have so many layers upon layers of cultural conditioning from when we're children, and we don't want to see animals get hurt when we're children, but someone says, "Oh, you need to eat this so you grow big and strong. You need to drink milk so you have strong bones. You need eggs for protein." And these lies, when they keep getting repeated, it kind of embeds itself in our neurology, our nerves, our schemas that are wired together. So I kind of answered my own question, but it's very complicated, I think, sometimes.
Yeah. I think I partially answered this question. I would recommend, if anybody wants to check my channel, I kind of answered this question in my videos about Alex O'Connor. I basically don't believe, it's not that I don't believe, just me. If humans were rational, and if humans' motivation was rational, then marketing wouldn't exist. So you can present arguments. You can win a debate. You can win a debate with a meat eater, with carnivore or whatever. You can win a debate. You can use stronger arguments. Maybe he will not find any reason to support his stance, but it all doesn't matter too much, because humans' actions are not motivated rationally. Yeah, you are right. So first of all, each of us cares about himself and cares about others only if this another person belongs to his group, to their circle. First, we must make a connection. The person must somehow identify themselves with another being, to even start caring about. Where there is no identification, where there is no bond between a person and someone else, when another person belongs to another group, like outside of his own circle, our nature is not to care. There are even such experiments where participants were divided into two groups, and they even gave them just different T-shirts. So, for example, one group received blue T-shirts, the other group of participants received red T-shirts, and even this basic research showed that people, for example, in blue T-shirts, tended to care about other blue t-shirts wearers. Yes.
Wow.
They cared only about the groups of blue t-shirt. Moreover, they experience, I mean, their brain experience, so their reward system was activated during red t-shirt group was suffering. They experience some satisfaction. So
Wow.
this is in our nature to feel satisfaction when somebody from out of our group is maybe not being brutally killed, but if they, defeated, if they have some problems. So they experience satisfaction in very objective way. Their reward system is activated.
Yeah.
So we only care about others. So for me, this huge change was that animals again appeared in my life. That I adopted some guinea pigs, so I started being interested. I started observing. I interacted with them. I realized, above all, I realized how far alive they are, because we tend to think of animals as how to say,
Beneath
lower.
us. Yeah.
What?
Beneath us.
Beneath, that they are like less than us. And my observation with my guinea pigs was, oh my God, I like to, I'm a musician. This is my first profession. And if some of you love music, we can experience, during listening to music, we can experience kind of ecstasy. Okay, it doesn't need to be music. Let's say somebody takes drugs, LSD, for example, and his experiences, they say that their perception opens. Yes, some people describe this experience this way. Yes, that their perception widens. Yes, they describe their experience as bigger, wider, more intense. Yes. Also during music, we can experience this. And I saw this state of mind in animals. Like they are naturally experience life more than us. While watching animals, I noticed that they are more alive than us. So I started to think of animals that maybe they are not superior, maybe not beneath us. Maybe they are superior to us. Maybe they are more alive than we are. Maybe we are so proud of our linear thinking with words, but maybe this is something we can also look at it as something limiting us. Maybe we are experiencing life less because of this, because we are focused on linear thinking, and their perception is wider. They are living more. So I started observing them, but above all, I bonded with them. So animals again were invited into my circle, became part of my life. So I think this is important. People may hear arguments, but as long as they don't prioritize animals, as long as they are not important, as long as they have no bond with animals, as long as animals don't belong to their group, as long as they don't perceive animals as their family, it will be just unimportant, like too unimportant to make any effort.
Yeah, I know that frustration. I did some outreach last night where I presented a kind of question tree where I asked about oppression, and the people I was talking to answered, a question where I asked, what does oppression mean? And we talked about how if the oppressor is more powerful, or if the oppressor is different looking, or if the oppressor really wants to oppress, or if it's their tradition, they've been doing it for a long time. This is a whole question tree that I was inspired by. I don't know if you know Chip from Vegan Power Lab. He's been doing live outreach with this kind of a question tree in the form of a social experiment. And anyway, I tried it, and some, a kind of response that I got at one point was, oh, well, I thought you were talking about humans when I answered those questions. And it's hard to get people to empathize and say, well, what should be the difference? Like, why is it okay to do this to other beings who
Mm-hmm.
look different, are less powerful, who it's a tradition to exploit.
Okay.
You know, it's really hard to get people to not be speciesist, you know, in our determination of value of life. You know, the way I see it, what affects the value of life of an individual is their degree of what, you know, in English, there's a word called culpability. I don't know if you're familiar, but it's kind of how guilty they are for things. So it's kind of like what they're responsible for. And we do this, you know, even in the justice system in the US, people go to jail if they, you know, if they're convicted of murder. The court decides that their life, you know, could even end. Like I'm not in favor of the death penalty, where, you know, people get sentenced to death by something like lethal injection for murder. I don't think that people should be punished in that way. I think it's actually better to help them think about, you know, what they did and spend their life in jail. I think that's better than you know, I don't think the government should get to end their life like that. But anyway, my point is that I think it's people's actions that they should get to be judged for, not if they're a kangaroo or a bear or a seagull or a snake, you know, whatever species they belong to. They didn't choose to be born as those species. So it's not anything that gives anybody value or takes away anyone's value. It's we didn't have any say in it. You know, some people, I don't know if you're familiar with different kind of yoga beliefs and mysticism, but some people will say things like, you chose your parents, you chose to come into this incarnation, and you had to incarnate through many, many different animal lives. And finally, you know, you got the gift of being a human. And they kind of say this in kind of a very ego driven way, egocentric, you know, where it's like human is the top. That's the biggest achievement.
That's actually interesting that you said about this, because this was also one of my thoughts prior to going vegan, and what also inspired me to go vegan. I made such a thought experiment when I was watching my guinea pigs, and I noticed how much more alive they are than we are. And I made such a thought that if I were God or an angel and a spiritual being, and I was trying to imagine myself in this position, that, for example, okay, I want to experience how it is to be conscious because okay, I have the whole theory, but this is too long. Okay, maybe I will not develop this topic, but just let me focus on this thought experiment that I imagined. If I were God, I want to experience how it is to be alive in the physical form, having a body, having time-dependent type of conscious. It's related with possessing mass. So how it is to possess mass and to operate in time, to have this conscious operating in time. As a God, as an angel who has ultimate knowledge, what form would I choose to incarnate? So would a human be my choice to incarnate if I were a God? And my answer is absolutely not, because, you know, humans are so arrogant about their wisdom, but in fact we have no wisdom. We are not. There are so many things. Not only we don't know, we have no chance to know. We have no chance to check. For example, I was very much interested in quantum physics before I went vegan. This was my main hobby.
Wow.
So, for example, to check whether the time can go backwards, whether tachyons exist, we would need to engage. To make even such experiment, we would need to engage more energy than there is in the universe. So can you see? the major questions, absolutely major questions about reality, we will never answer. We will never know. We will never understand in what reality we are, who we are. We will never answer ultimate questions. So our knowledge is actually very little. It's very practical knowledge about how to survive, but we don't have knowledge, understanding of reality as it is. So as a god, I would look at people like not much above rats, like other form of just slightly intelligent life. And if I had a choice, obviously I wouldn't choose a human, this very arrogant species, considering themselves as intelligent while they are not, and at the same time not truly alive, because humans are constantly focused on linear, very narrow thinking by words. We use words to create our thoughts. Yes, we are thinking with words, and we are so proud of it. We are so proud of it.
And I think also
But this
part
is
of
not ultimate way to experience reality. So if I was God or an angel, I would choose maybe a guinea pig. So maybe a rat, maybe a sheep. So I started looking at those animals as superior to us. I thought, well, who knows? Maybe this guinea pig, maybe this is an angel, maybe this is a god. Who knows? So if you talk about because you said that those guys who talk about reincarnation, they tend to perceive humans as the highest. Yes. So I thought, no, if I was a god, I would become a guinea pig if I wanted to experience life on Earth.
Yeah, I think also, what you mentioned about humans being arrogant, a lot of that stems from what we're taught as children. So a lot of these beliefs in a vegan world, it could be very different. It could not exist. Children could actually grow up being taught to respect other species.
Yes.
And
Yes.
And then we could redeem ourselves, basically. Something that you said about us, our consciousness being time dependent, and the idea of the amount of energy that would be required to kind of go back in time kind of makes me think of this conversation I was having with ChatGPT, where I was asking ChatGPT about quantum physics and the ideas of time travel and things like that. And supposedly what ChatGPT was saying was that ChatGPT was saying, well, you can't exactly go back in time, like you can't undo events that have already occurred, but it was saying that if you manage to travel fast enough, then you could basically experience time more slowly. So basically it was saying that
no. From the observer's perspective, from your perspective, it would be exactly the same.
Yeah. Sorry. I said that incorrectly. You would experience time the same, but supposedly, supposedly
for the observer, you would stop in time.
Kind of, yeah. And I guess you would kind of, compared to the observer, you would age more slowly also.
Yes.
But the interesting thing is, so I asked, like, it's just weird to think, like I said, if this is kind of a morbid example, but I said, if there was a corpse, like on a space shuttle that was traveling at that speed, would the corpse decay more slowly? And it said, no, the decay on the space shuttle would happen naturally, just the same as it does on the Earth. But basically the amount of time that it would take for it to happen would, like, if you had a corpse in a space shuttle and you traveled and the corpse took a year on the space shuttle to decay, I guess when you got back to Earth, it might have already been, instead of a year, maybe 30-40 years would have passed. And it's hard for me to wrap my brain around that. I don't understand that completely.
Actually, this is a very interesting topic, and I apply those this logic also to vegan rights, not vegan rights, animal rights, because the perspective matters. The perspective matters because, of course, the corpse would decay at the same speed. Everything everything takes time at the same speed, but from the perspective of the corpse, yes. Always perspective matters. So also I applied this logic, this lens to value of life, value of animals' life, because when you ask about the value, there is vegans very often are engaged with the conversation on whether the value of chicken is the same comparing to human. Yes.
Yeah.
So I always say that perspective matters. To ask about value of somebody's life, you must ask the person that it refers to. So ask the chicken, what is the value of his life?
Yeah, it reminds me of this this story where there's like a wise old man or something, or just some person who he has two chickens, like a chicken in each hand, and he has two students, and he gives each one a chicken and says, "Go kill this chicken where no one can see, where no one sees." And one of the people goes behind the barn and just kills the chicken with a knife and comes back, and the other one goes wandering off into the hills. And then it's, nighttime, he comes back and he still has the chicken with him. And the guy who gave them the chicken says, "Well, what happened?" And he said, "Everywhere I went, the chicken still saw." So it's the idea that there is nowhere that you can go where no one sees. There's always a perspective.
Very good story.
Yeah. So I wanted to kind of, if we could shift gears a little bit, I want to talk about the different like justice related topics that you're passionate about. So I know that you're a proponent of Palestinian liberation, and that's something that you've advocated for in the past. And are the
I don't think you are correct, especially in past. No, I just reacted to genocide.
Sure.
I didn't do this as a human rights advocate, not as vegan activist. I just naturally reacted as a human.
I understand that. I mean,
I just saw those footages. I saw the pictures of starving children. I heard the news. I heard what's going on, and this was like natural reaction, human reaction. This has nothing to do with being activists or no. This is a natural reaction to genocide. I think this is. When they ask whether we should take a stance or not, I think first question, what made us vegans? What? This kind of sensitivity to harm, to injustice. We reacted. So we reacted on animals. We reacted to animals. What word should I say? Mass
oppression.
murder. Oppression by going vegan. So we reacted. So we are this type of people who are not indifferent. So I can't imagine that at one point somebody is indifferent, is sensitive and reacting, and at other point is indifferent and cold-hearted. I don't understand this. So I reacted as human.
Yeah, and I mean, and I don't mean to call it something inaccurate. What I was just saying is that that's a cause that you recognize that they are subjects of apartheid, and that they're being oppressed, and you want them to be liberated, to be freed from that situation.
This is we were that we were talking on this topic with George recently. Obviously it is a difficult topic because human rights in many points contradict animal rights. So if I am above all, I am against kosher and halal slaughter, so it contradicts with the fact that suddenly I am against mass killing of, you say Muslim or Muslim? Which is
Either one. I mean,
either is fine. Yes.
some people
Okay.
say
So then
Muslim. Some people say
I am
Muslim.
against mass killing of Muslim children. But those children are as innocent as pigs and cows that I am advocating for. So, human kids especially are okay. All humans are animals. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yep.
especially human kids are, for me, are at the same level innocent,
Innocent.
and helpless
Yeah.
as those pigs in gas chambers. So I can't imagine how can I show some sensitivity, be sensitive and care in this case, but in another case was like, I don't care. Killing children, I don't care. Those are also animals. They uh,
Yeah.
this is also kind of speciesism or carnies. Like again, we are creating a category of sentient beings that it is okay to. If about them, we are fine.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of that kind of calculation happening where you were talking about the different value that we give different lives and the blue shirt
Mm-hmm.
and the different color shirt kind of experiment at play,
Mm-hmm.
where people have said, I've heard vegans say that, of course, the death of the innocent children is wrong and it's very sad, but this is war. I've heard
Okay,
people.
so but look, they sound exactly the same as all carnies meat eaters because they say exactly the same. And we know it is wrong to kill animals, but this is the
Food.
life circle. This
Yeah.
is food chain, or
Yeah.
it's the same thinking, the same logic, exactly the same logic.
Yeah, I can see the similarities
Mm-hmm.
in that logic.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess, there's people who have the idea that veganism should kind of compel someone to have certain views about other human related issues. And I can see that there might be some kind of overlap, like if a person has compassion toward other animals, like especially, if you look at in the US, the
Mm-hmm.
culture that we have that kind of is how to say it, like a more domination based approach,
Mm-hmm.
like, likes to hunt animals, trap animals, skin animals, fish for animals, wear animals, go riding on horses. These
Mm-hmm.
kinds of things are kind of associated, like this is what a man does, kind of a thing. It's like
Mm-hmm.
a manly activity.
Masculinity, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And that kind of mentality is
Mm-hmm.
difficult. I think if somebody, you know, we need to almost redefine our definitions for what masculinity means, and
Mm-hmm.
masculinity can mean protecting others,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
and defending those who are, like you say, like children, like innocent,
Mm-hmm.
vulnerable, not able to protect themselves. They don't have strong defense mechanisms to protect themselves against injury, against harm. And I think when we have that kind of mindset, being vegan fits in with that very well. When we want to
Mm-hmm.
defend the weak and the innocent. But something that you see a lot is people kind of saying that because someone is vegan and they have this mentality, that means that they also need to be um, against certain types of, let's say, injustices. Let's just grant
Mm-hmm.
that for the sake of discussion,
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to humans, because since we're
Mm-hmm.
also animals,
Mm-hmm.
um, it would kind of apply, the human issues. Basically, some people say there's a big controversy around this, where some people say
Mm-hmm.
that human rights is a vegan issue, whereas other
Mm-hmm.
people, other vegans will say that no, veganism is about non-human animals, It's
Mhm,
for them.
mhm,
It's a movement for them. It belongs to them.
mhm,
And it's fine to be a human rights
mhm,
activist as well, but that we shouldn't make it a
mhm,
vegan thing. We shouldn't make
mhm,
veganism about anything other than what humans are doing to
mhm,
the other species. I'm wondering what your thoughts are on that.
mhm. Okay. Yeah, I saw a lot of fight, basically against so-called intersectional vegans. Yes,
Mhm.
until the point that this word started being used as a kind of slur.
Mm.
So, and okay, this word doesn't exist in Poland. So Polish vegans don't. Fortunately, we don't have this dilemma. We don't have this. We don't have this word. We don't have this dilemma. But we have some divisions, maybe different kinds. So I think like we have some divisions between welfarists and abolitionists.
Abolition, yes.
Yeah, we have some other divisions. Like people are sensitive with a certain topic which relates to them. For example, we had a huge struggle for because abortion was banned for over last years. So
Mm.
there was a lot of struggle in Poland around the abortion topic. So people were divided between two groups of pro-life and pro-choice. So we could see this fight also among vegans. That, for example, if some vegans were like strongly pro-choice, usually they are pro-choice because usually they are leftists. So they kind of hated even vegans who were pro-choice or who were like, I don't care. I don't care, you know. So they thought that everybody should fight for this topic. Yes. So we had maybe like there are like some topics. There are topics which polarize society.
Yeah.
So we never had this like all together, like all groups together, liberate all groups, because we don't have, for example, first of all, we don't have racism in Poland, basically speaking, generally speaking. We don't have most of these issues. We don't have. Some people, wokists, are trying to import those problems. So I hate it. I might say, hey, stop, we are in Poland. We didn't have like slavery of black people. We have never oppressed black people. Why you are start talking and in this way in Poland? Yes. So I think everybody should, we must accept that each of us, each vegan has different background. So we cannot apply one's expectation on what another vegan should be, should fight for, because, for example, um, I think there are horrible, absolutely artificial divisions in English zone. Yes, you're fighting about this. I hate this division among intersectionals and non-intersectionals. This is artificial. It doesn't exist in Poland. It's crazy. So why they cannot accept that, okay, maybe somebody before he went vegan, maybe he was already a leftist, maybe before he went vegan he already was engaged with LGBTQ community or something, and it is still important for this person. Yes, so we should accept that, okay, for this person this is important. So for me, for example, if I have autistic child, yeah, I care about mentally disabled or sick people. It's like I even work as occupational therapist, so I have contact. I work with those people, so this is something close to my heart. So maybe sometimes I will shoot a video about this, and I don't want that somebody will come and call me intersectional in the manner as a slur. So I am not allowed to talk about things which I'm even professionally work with, or I'm not allowed to talk about topics that I'm familiar with, because for somebody it is already intersectionalism. I hate those. Wait, I will maybe move again somewhere else, because I'm just, oh my God, where can I go? Because I don't want somebody to be next to me. Okay, I will move again. Maybe here. I have a problem where to go because there are too many people here, too many
I
people,
understand.
too many cages, too much everything in my house. So I don't have space. Actually, okay, so I will sit here.
So it sounds like what you're
I,
saying is different people kind of care about different things.
yes, yes, this is natural because they are different people with different background, different history. Maybe somebody, for example, suffered from some disabilities themselves, so they know this and they care about it. So how, the vegan even dare to, to how to say, to judge somebody that he cares about some issue. I think, but also the other hand, the opposite way. For I saw on Vegan Society website that this claim that vegans, should be intersectional. So also the opposite way. I think I oppose. Because intersectionality for me, it is kind of a lens that you put on to see the world, the reality in a different perspective. This is not my perspective. I don't support this perspective because this is focused on oppression. So look, I have an autistic child and he's already grown, and he suffered in his past. He was bullied in school, yes, by other kids. He was bullied, and I have always taught him to be responsible himself for his own experience. So I said that you're autistic, it doesn't mean that you cannot live a decent life, a good life. You should always be aware of your limitations, but you also have talents. He has talents. You must focus on your talents. You must develop your talents. You must think about what you can do in your life. You must think what is possible for you, and you must try to live like as normal and good life as possible. And I was teaching my son that there is no such a thing as oppression, that himself, he is responsible for quality of his life. And I was teaching my child that if somebody is bullying him, this is the problem of this person. So I taught him to look at his oppressors like they have problems. Maybe they suffered some trauma. It's their own problem. So I taught him never to be attached to somebody's treatment. So when somebody says stupid things, so I always taught myself, I do it. He learned how to reflect like in direction to the oppressor side. If he is called with very rude words like, oh, you retarded or something, so I taught him just look at this person and think, my God, he was treated retarded. Maybe what he experienced in his life, that he is now saying such things. So if I taught my child not to believe in oppression, to be responsible for the quality of his own experience, so how the vegan society or community might I don't give the right to force me to wear somebody else's lenses to look at reality. No, I have my own definition of reality, my own experience. Of course, there are things that I care, so I don't see any problem. I don't know why I shouldn't talk about things that are important for me. I see the genocide, I react, I talk about it. But not because I have some certain lenses that I am declared fighter against oppression. No, it's like natural reaction. And there is also another thing. I tell you, I really hate those artificial aggressive divisions among vegans in Western society. Fortunately, we don't have this in Poland until this degree. We don't even have this vocabulary. I'm so happy about it. There is
So
though, yeah.
I was going to say, so with being vegan, we hope that people see things from a little bit different of a lens than
Uh-huh.
they're used to seeing it. We want them to see
Mm-hmm.
a victim, a murder victim on their plate.
Yes, yes.
What are some strategies that you've found like successful or effective in the past? Like, have you, with friends and family, helped
Mm-hmm.
people to kind of come around to changing how they see, like, the lens that they look out of in terms
Mm-hmm.
of
Mm-hmm.
themselves and
Mm-hmm.
the animals?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hmm. Um, so I've been active online over last 5 years. Almost every day I upload videos, basically on my Polish channel, which is called Boska Cząstka. Veganika is my additional channel, and if I find some interest in my English videos, yeah, I would love to continue. I would love to be part of a vegan movement and participate in discussions, to be active. I would love to be active part. So far, actually, you are the first after 5 years of me being active. You are the first vegan activist from abroad who invited me to discussion. So thank you very much. Maybe because of you, I will become active in English again. I will give another chance, like the second chance to my English activity.
Yeah, we need people sharing ideas and
Yeah.
talking around
Uh-huh.
the world, because if you think about it, I mean, we all live in different pockets, different cities,
Yes.
but
Yes. Mm-hmm.
we're all kind of either, in our house, our place of work, in our car. We just have different places where we go, and our life is
Mm-hmm.
very insulated otherwise, unless
Mm-hmm.
we go out on the street and talk to a few
Mm-hmm.
people and put a video online. But the chances
Mm-hmm.
of our message actually reaching a lot of people when we do that,
Mm-hmm.
unless you're like a Joey Carbstrong or Earthling Ed, it's pretty small of a reach. But if we talk to other vegans, we're all of a sudden kind of shooting a big connecting web, a big rope over somewhere
Mm-hmm.
else, across an ocean. And all of a
Mm-hmm.
sudden, the ideas that you have about non-human animals and anti-speciesism, that becomes something then another person can learn from. And like, just take the live outreach that I did
Mm-hmm.
yesterday. I've done
Mm-hmm.
outreach for many years, but
Mm-hmm.
it had never occurred to me that I can go out with my phone instead of a big fancy camera and just upload a live video while I'm doing it. I don't have to
Mm-hmm.
record a video and then go back and edit the video and sync the audio and, deal with
Mm-hmm.
all these technical things. I can just go and put the phone up and hold a sign. And that was inspired by Kip, who lives in or Chip, sorry, who lives in Amsterdam. So this was a huge victory for the ability of technology to connect us
Mm-hmm.
and for us to be able
Mm-hmm.
to share ideas. Um, I know that you also create other content that kind of is more about like science and religion and
But
philosophy,
I
and
always connected with animal rights.
that's
So
amazing.
it's a
How
no,
do you
no.
do that? How do you, because
Uh,
when you appeal to people who, let's say somebody's on YouTube searching like,
yeah,
something
it
about
is exactly my goals, because
mm,
like originally when I started talking about like animal rights, like directly and literally in my first at my first stage of activism. Of course, I was not yet aware. My awareness was quite different at this point. I hope in a couple of years later it will be again different than it is now, and I will think of myself, oh, I was so stupid or naive. But originally I started talk directly about I was thinking about I was talking like in a very naive manner, very open, like, oh, let's think, guys, how many ways we can help animals, because our possibilities are so narrow, are so limited. But let's think creatively what we can do. And I thought, and I found out like many methods, many ways we can help animals. So, and I thought that I will engage people with this kind of conversation. I really naively believe that there are many people out there who are eager to help animals, to rescue animals, that we can talk about it and we can do something. But very soon I realized I after going vegan activist, I discovered anti-vegan community anti-vegan community, which was much stronger in Poland than vegan community, much stronger, much more aggressive. They had much bigger, how you say,
Reach?
coverage. I mean, exposure. Oh, they had much more higher exposure on the internet. They had views, they had likes, they had comments. They were that community is very supportive. They support each other much more than vegans. This is problem with vegans. Vegans don't support each other. So I realized that my channel was visited mainly by anti-vegans.
Wow.
And a little bit by vegans.
So you were getting comments like in Polish.
Yeah, from anti-vegans mainly.
Wow.
So, and I realized that, oh my God, people are encouraging one another to sadism. They enjoy this. This is fun for them. They are happy even to look at us when we show our our disappointment, our frustration. They enjoy. I realized that there are so many people out there enjoying our frustration. So this was like first shock for me. And then I decided, oh no. I already, I have a lot of experience with showbiz because I've been dealing with music business and showbiz in general for decades. So I think no. I thought I will start using like showbiz tactics. So I will not be so open, like my heart will not be so open to all this anymore. I will start playing various tricks. I will do different. They are aggressive. Okay, I can also be aggressive. I don't need to be, I don't need to be to the same person as I am to my guinea pigs. I can be tender mommy to Orlando and others. I don't need to be this way online. So that's why I started creating different content. So I often, so you see in the titles, if you just look at my channels, both channels, and just look at titles, you might have the impression that I occasionally, maybe frequently talk about animal rights, about veganism, but also about other topics. Maybe veganism is not the main topic. Yeah, maybe that's why you had this impression that I talk. But yeah, this is true that I have many other other hobbies I used to have. I used to, deal with music. So of course, this was my huge passion. So of course, there are topics that I have something to say about. I can talk about many topics. I can talk about music. I can talk about quantum physics. I can talk about religions, and there are several topics. I can also talk about nutrition. There are certain topics that I can talk. So I decided to incorporate those other topics to draw attention from the people from this vegan, anti-vegan circle. Because before, when I was talking directly about animals and animal rights, I was only, as my audience, I only had mainly anti-vegans, aggressive anti-vegans, and a couple of vegans. And only when I started to talk about other topics, other issues, suddenly people who are like ordinary people started visiting my channel. Those people were not vegans, but they were not anti-vegans either.
Yeah.
They had not prejudice. They were not like, yeah. They even didn't know all those idiotic arguments like,
Plants
crop
feel
deaths,
pain. Yeah.
all those kind of crap they didn't know. They were unaware. They were fresh people,
Yeah.
and so I noticed that this is the best way for me to spread the message that I am talking about some topic that people are interested in. And this is the best when people are coming. I start with some topic and people support me. They say, yeah, you described this perfectly. You exactly expressed my thoughts. Yeah, so people agree with me on one thing. Yes. Oh, yes, you said this perfectly. But soon after, I start, uh, I somehow, I finish with, for example, with animal rights, and I can relate many even distant topics with animal rights. So because I think we need to make a story, not just to say this is right, this is wrong, give the proof. Okay, you agree with my argument. Okay, so you are bought. I bought you because you cannot find counter argument. No, I think we must produce interesting, engaging narrative from thousands of perspectives, not one, two, three perspectives, from thousands of perspectives. So yeah, I can relate quantum physics to animal rights. Oh, religion is the easiest, and this is actually I talk a lot about religions because this is very, very important because, especially in Poland, religion is the main culprit to animal rights because it is the church who who has it in its doctrine that you are allowed to exploit animals. So I would say the definition of veganism is exactly like the opposition from it's like rewrite from a church catechism. I don't know. Do you understand the word catechism? Catechism. It's a written doctrine of Catholic Church.
Okay. I hadn't heard it, but I understand.
So this is a doctrine, written doctrine of. So there is a passage about animals there. So it is exactly that you are allowed. You are. To use animals for food, for entertainment, for skin, fur, whatever that God gives you this right. So it is exactly written. So the definition of veganism is like rewritten this sentence. Yes, like it's the opposition of this exactly. So obviously we must or I must deal with religious doctrines because even with people stop believing or if they are atheists, they are still brought up in this culture. We are the whole Western culture is Judeo-Christian culture where we have it in our minds. It's we are wired to believe that we are given this world, that this world is for us. We have dominion. So dominion is the word from originating from Bible. Yes, God gave us dominion over animals. Yes, we have the right. We are entitled to use them whichever way we want. So even when people leave the religion, are not religious or they are atheists, they still they grew up in this culture. So I am. So yes, this I give a lot of focus on religions.
That's great. It sounds like you have a really good idea of kind of those almost like, pressure points, like in a vein, there's a place where you can feel the pulse. And you've managed to create a channel where you're attracting people to your channel who might not come there for vegan content, but
yes, exactly. They come for different content. Yes.
Yeah, and I think that's so important because we need to access the screens, that the non-vegans are holding, looking into their phones or on their computers. We need to get in front of them and give them this
Yes,
message.
exactly.
And
Yeah.
one of the things with social media is that everybody just sees what they're searching for. Everybody,
Yeah.
if you want, you can make your whole experience on your computer tell you everything that you already believe. It's
That's,
and
I will
sometimes
give you.
I was
I
just going
can
to say,
give.
sometimes I actually look at like the carnivore, the people who are part of what they call the carnivore movement or the anti-vegans. I'll look at their content and I'll just try to not because I think that I'm gonna change my mind about anything, but because I want to see what their arguments are, and you
Yeah.
always also can tell that the level of intellectual discourse is a lot always very low. They're just satisfied with very kind of basic justifications and appeals to
Yeah.
things like
Yeah.
tradition or these health arguments that we know aren't actually valid. I'm sorry, you were going to give an example.
Yeah. I wanted to give you an example because actually this is funny. This is funny. This is even yesterday I uploaded such video. There is one priest in Poland. So this is funny story. I will give you this to picturize what I am doing as an example because actually it is funny. There is a priest who is very popular. He is very popular on media because he's exorcista. How you say this in English? Exorcista. Exorcista.
An exorcist, like
Exorcist.
they
He's an
bring demons
exorcist.
out of people.
Yeah, he's an
Okay.
exorcist. So,
Oh, okay.
people are very fascinated with those
Mm,
phenomena
yeah.
like demons and so on. It's a lot of, horror movies about it. So that now they see the true priest who is doing this job. So he's super popular. He has millions of views to his speech and his, and actually in past already I made, I produced two quite popular videos based on his name. So, like, my claim was okay. Yeah, does this guy really, how you say, expel demons? Expel is the correct word. Does this guy really, truly expel demons? Why demons should be scared of the guy who eats meat? Why should be scared? This is his friend, like they are comrades, they can shake hands, this is what so I already used his name. So this is good to make a story based on existing story. And so in past I already uploaded maybe 2 or even more videos about him. But now it was so funny because this super popular priest has just been charged or sued for with pedophile charges. Can you correct me?
Charged, yeah, is the
He was
correct word.
charged with pedophile allegations.
Yeah, either one is correct. Yeah, charges,
Okay.
allegations, yeah.
When I saw this news, actually I was laughing because he's like ultimate moral authority for Polish Catholics. Ultimate, who tells so many details about what demons likes. He has such a wide knowledge about even the demons' preferences. So I was like, okay,
Wow.
so now we believe he knows a lot about demon preferences. So again, I used this guy when he appeared on media that he is charged with pedophilia. So like people are in shock. Still, millions of people support him. They say, no, they are trying to destroy him. This is not possible. So many people still, defend him despite those charges. And I also use this story like. I say, you see, I talked about this guy that he's not so innocent, and now you see, and I only said this. So I had thousands of views. So many people were, how to say, agitated. What is the word?
Agitated, yeah.
Agitated with this story because this is the story that now the whole all Catholics live with. Like, and they say, what do you say? Do you have proofs? Do you have proofs that he's guilty? And again, yesterday, I uploaded another video. Yes, I have the proofs. Look, in this video, this guy is talking, the video with millions of views, he's talking called sex demons. He's bothering his viewers with with sex. So he's talking about his focus on masturbation, on sex, that this is the worst thing the human can do. He defines the masturbations as an ultimate evil, while at the same time he prevents people from thinking about what goodness and evil is, from definition of evil. So this is my accusation. This is his main sin, I'm charging him, I'm accusing him of preventing people from thinking of definition of evil. There are more than billion chickens, more than in Poland every year, but he's talking about masturbation. Yeah, so so I made a story based on existing story. Yes.
Yeah, it sounds like you're able to use the concept of making reaction videos very effectively. With things that you see, like videos that you see or news stories and things like that. And that's something that I haven't really done much in the past. In terms of watching a video and reacting to it. I've done that very little, but it's something that I'm also thinking about doing more because it's just easier. In some ways, like not to say it's easy to do, but it's logistically all it takes is just being on the computer, so it doesn't require you to go out on the street and set up like some kind of activism setup or to talk to people, and it can still have a great impact because, like you said, when somebody logs in and you're able to reach them based on a topic that doesn't exactly pertain to vegan, anti-vegan type dichotomy, or that kind of
Exactly.
black A and B kind of thing. It's somewhere in between. That can be a really good way to reach other people. I'm wondering if you have any other upcoming plans. I know we're hitting a little past the 2-hour mark, so might be good to kind of wrap up our discussion. But I'd love to hear about if you have any kind of upcoming plans for your channel, or any kind of videos that you're working on, or anything that you're following and that you've got on your mind as things to kind of bring to vegan YouTube.
No. I'm not. To be honest, I'm never working on videos. It's because I'm very productive. I'm constantly thinking. Since I went vegan, I hardly slept because I go to bed. I go to bed, for example, and I'm thinking, and I have new ideas. So even when I'm laying in the bed, I have not even one. I have several parallel narratives going on in my brain. So even when I am in my bed, I already think I have this idea. So I have this like parallel. So I think, okay, I should say this. At the same time, different topic. We can do this. To be honest, I would love to clone myself, because I see so many angles from which we can talk about animal rights, and nutrition is also very important. It is also very important because as long as people believe meat is essential for survival.
It's a big problem.
It's a big problem. So nutrition is very important. So this Veganika channel recently became nutrition related channel. But if I see some interest of foreign audience, maybe I will be like mixing, like one video in Polish about nutrition, next in English about whatever, about so I will. This is what I would like, and I have this another channel, Polish channel, fully Polish channel, and so even when I go to bed, I think, we can do this from this angle. I could talk about this. I should talk about this, but I don't have enough time, enough capacity. You can give me the microphone, I can talk. You can give me the topic. You will say, okay, please make a animal rights speech based on this topic. You give me a topic and I think, okay, how to link this topic with animal rights. So I will create a story, yes, because I think for us it is important to create a story, because we must rewire people. Like we must connect animal rights with many how to say, we must make new connections in the brains. So I think animal rights should not be one spot in the brain. It should be connected, associated with many, many, many existing thoughts.
That's a really good point. You know, when we think about when people think about vegans, a lot of times in their mind, their brain just goes to one little dark corner where it's like, these are the different people, they're creepy and weird, and let them do what they do in their own little world, in their own bubble. But if we can connect it to sports, nutrition, medicine,
yeah, many,
science,
many topics. Religion, politics. Oh, I produce also a lot of videos about politics. Yeah, also.
Yeah. Lewis says there's no biological requirement in the human body for animal flesh, since there's no essential nutrients for humans that can be only obtained by consuming the flesh of animals. Yes, exactly. Well, Veganika, thank you so much for coming up. And I hope that people who are watching live and in the future will go ahead and subscribe to your channel, and we can follow you and you know, see the evolution of your channel and your ideas. And thank you again for coming on.
Thank you very much for inviting me. And yeah, it was a great pleasure. Yeah,
thank you. I appreciate that. And thanks to everybody for watching. And Veganika, take care and be well. And we'll go ahead and end it here. And hope everybody has a great day or evening. And thanks again for everybody for watching. And we'll both see you guys hopefully in the near future.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Yeah.